So it is September, and we are in a series on the art of discernment. The art of discernment, right? The art of knowing from a deep, aligned place whether to turn left or turn right, whether to go up or go down, whether to say yes or say no, right? From a deep, anchored, aligned place, understanding and knowing which move to make, when to make it, what to say, right? Even when the facts and the things that are in front of our faces are saying and screaming one thing, our ability to be anchored so deeply in the one love and the one power and the one presence, our ability to be so deeply anchored that it doesn't matter what is showing up on the screens in front of us, because we know God will have the final word, that love is all there is. And so that's what we're talking about this month, is how to be in this state in place of discernment. And I am discerning that my Janet Jackson mic is flipping off my ear, so I have to get it together there. So today I'm talking about the wisdom of yes and no, right? These seeming polarities, the wisdom of yes and the wisdom of no. And here's the thing with where we are right now as a culture, globally, certainly in the United States. We have an abundance of wisdom. We have an abundance of knowledge. We have an abundance of knowledge, and we're starving for wisdom. Right? I'm going to say it again. We have an abundance of knowledge, and we are starved for wisdom. Wisdom is based on discernment. Right? Wisdom is based on not only your life experience, not only what you've gone through, what you've grown through, what's knocked you down, got back up. It's not only that. It's not chronological. Right? It's also about this anchoredness in something greater than the self. Right? So discernment is a cornerstone of wisdom. Right? They go hand in hand. The ability to see a situation truly, to suss out that which is obscure, right? All of that is part of the package of being a wise individual. And so we have so many people, and all of us are so inundated with knowledge at your fingertips. AI can give you, you can write a book in 5 minutes, right? You can learn something about something that you have to fact check from AI in like 2 seconds. Right? There's so many ways that we have access to knowledge. We're bombarded with knowledge. We have search engines and YouTube and all the things that give us facts and give us information and give us knowledge, but we are still lacking in wisdom. Right? And that is the path. That's what we're being called to. If we're going to survive ourselves on this planet, we will have to move into a wisdom state. Right? Into a state that is more anchored and aligned. And so today I'm talking about the power or the wisdom of yes and no, right? The wisdom of yes and no, not yes or no, but yes and no, because they are seeming polarities, and yet there are ways that they are actually producing the same thing. So let's talk about this. So, when you think about yes and no, you think about decision making, right? Being at a crossroads. Do I do this or do I do that? Do I make this move in my career or do I do this other thing? Do I make this move in my life or do I do this other thing, right? Do I say yes to this? Do I say no to that? Like that is something that is sort of how we think about yes and no. And so, it's so interesting that we are in a theater, that I am back in the theater. So 22 years ago was the last time I was on stage as an actor. And it was a point in my life at 2003, fall of 2003. It was a point in my life where, for my acting career, I was an equity actor. I was doing regional theater. I was doing one-woman shows. I was working at the big theaters in the region where I lived. And it came to a point where the next thing I'd have to do to keep going as an actor would be to move back to New York, where I had been, or move back to LA, where I had been. I was doing shows in Cleveland, Ohio, at the regional theaters there. Broadway actors were coming in, and they were like, "What are you doing here? Like, you need to get to New York." And I was at a point where it was like, yeah, no, I don't want to, that's not what I want to do, right? I don't want to go and start over. I don't want to go where someone else is going to control what roles I can play, which is why I left LA in the first place. Like, I didn't want to play a crackhead or a whore or whatever the thing was that they would let me be, right? So I went and created what I was going to do for my career. And so the thought of going back where I'd have to start and then have to navigate that was just not appealing. It wasn't something that I felt was the next step for me. And so this other thing was going on that I was secretly doing that I didn't want to tell anyone about because I was firmly in my starving artist mode. And I was secretly moonlighting as a corporate trainer because I had a great set of communication skills. So I was literally at the Department of Defense Finance Accounting System, DFAS, in Cleveland, training Department of Defense employees how to use software. So I was doing that in the day, and I loved it. I loved it, and they loved me. So I was like, and here's the other thing, as a theater actor, you don't make a lot of money. And like the firm that hired me to do this work, when I saw my day rate, like my paycheck, I'm like, what? You're paying me this much in a day to do this? Right? Because as an actor, it might be like a month or two before I would make that kind of money. So I was secretly doing my side hustle was working as a corporate trainer for the Department of Defense, and I really loved it. That was the other thing. Like, I really loved it. I love what I was doing. I love the people I was working with. I love communicating to them. I could bring and they really liked me because being a theater person, I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little expressive. So I could tell stories and things. So they were just like, oh, we want her as the trainer because, nobody's asleep for 8 hours. And so when it came to me that, okay, my acting career in this way is done, I'm complete with this, I was too embarrassed to say to my actor friends and my artist friends, I am going to go into corporate training and doing, training programs and stuff like that. I was a little embarrassed about it because what'd you say? I was a sellout. Yes, exactly. The starving artist, right? So here's the point I'm making, though. By me saying no to moving back to New York, moving to LA to start over again, right? By saying no to that, it actually opened up a big yes for me, which was, yes, I will do this training work for this company, right? Yes, I will do this. I love this, and I have great skill with it. And I also was always an artist with a business mind. So being in the business world, and my mom was a lawyer, and I'd done work for her firm and stuff. So I was sort of used to like the business world. It didn't bother me, right? So I said yes. I said yes to, I'm going to do this corporate training, see where it takes me. I started my own little company at the time. I got a couple of contracts. And then, long story short, I won this fellowship. I was awarded a fellowship, went to Europe, came back. When I got back, the CEO of this very elite executive leadership firm reached out to me because they were looking for consultants who had a theater background for some very specific work they were doing. And so within just a little bit of time, I was like delivering programs at American Express and Harvard Business School and Columbia Business School and, Raytheon, all these major companies, right? Delivering this body of work, this corporate training that they needed somebody who was really expressive to work with tech executives, as it turned out, right? So the point I'm making is this. I said yes, and it opened a door so wide that my entire life for the past 20 years has been built on that yes. Right, my professional life, my personal life, everything is built on that yes. Because here's the wisdom of yes. The wisdom of yes is that it opens doors, is that it expands you beyond your comfort zone, right? It pushes you out into what you truly desire. When you say yes to that song within your heart, when you say yes to that nudging from spirit, that sweet spirit that nudges. When you say yes, the whole world opens up. Yes is growth. Yes is expansion. Yes is evolution, right? Yes is powerful, right? And so saying yes to this ministry, saying yes to moving to this space, it opens things up. And that is the wisdom and the power of yes. And so often, we are fearful of stepping out beyond our comfort zone. We're fearful of what will people say, what will they think if I'm going outside of my social norm for that time as an actor, right? What will people think if I say yes to this really big thing, right? People will think I'm crazy. My family will go like, what are you doing, right? And so yes has a power. And even in theater, there is this concept called yes and in improv, right? Yes and. And what that means is when you're in improv, when you're interacting with another individual in an improvisational scene, you have to, as a partner, say yes and. Whatever they offer you, whatever scenario they cook up, whatever they say to you, whatever their lines are, you have to say yes and in order for the scene to keep going, right? Not literally, but figuratively. So if someone says, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that your mother fell down the steps, then you would respond by going, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do when that happened, right? You go along with that versus saying, what are you talking about? My mom didn't fall down the steps. I mean, you could do that, right? But the point I'm making is you don't say no, you say yes and it keeps that scene going. It keeps the interaction going. It keeps the flow going. It keeps the creativity going. It keeps the channels open, right? That is the power of yes. That is the power of yes. And then there's the power of no. There is the power of no. No is a beautiful, complete word. And I have grown to love it more and more and more to say no, right? No. And sometimes it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no because we want people to like us. We want to, ingratiate ourselves to others. We want to be pleasing to others. And there are times where you just have to say no. No. Because just like yes expands, yes evolves, no protects, no preserves, right? No preserves ourselves because no is a boundary. No is saying, what's best for me is to say no to this right now, to decline this offer, right? To decline this relationship, to decline this behavior, to decline whatever it is, to say no. And what no helps us to do is not only preserve ourselves, it elevates our value because, as I've said before, things that are highly valued in this world are highly boundaried, right? People with high boundaries have greater value. We value them more. For example, you cannot walk up to, the royal family and just touch them, right? High boundaries about how you, and some people really elevate the value of those individuals. Right? You can't just walk up and grab the Mona Lisa off the wall of the Louvre. You can't do that. It's boundaried because it's valuable, right? And so frequently we forget as human beings that the less boundaries we have and the more people-pleasing we are and the more people can just walk all over us, it lowers our value. It lowers our value. So the more that we can set up boundaries, the more we can say no for the things that truly are not in our best interest. The more we can do that, the more valuable we become. And I work with this a lot with my corporate clients. I see it all the time. Particularly with women clients. I see this people-pleasing, this acquiescing, this overworking, this overdoing, so I can get all the brownie points and people can like me. And then other people are getting promoted, making more money, getting raises faster. And typically, it's the people who have the boundaries which increases their value. They're not as available, right? And so I want to invite you now to think about for yourself, where do I need to say no? Right? And I would really invite us into, as we are looking at all the things that are going on in the world right now, and we're looking at the explosive violence that is happening and things that are breaking out, and it's just nonstop. I invite you to say no to even engaging with it, to say no to looking at it, to say no. I mean, now we're in a time where you're seeing really graphic videos of things on YouTube. Like when I was a kid, you'd have to go to an R-rated movie or something to see some of the violence that we see on our Facebook feed like that. It's crazy. It's crazy because what it's doing is it desensitizes. The more we engage with it, the more desensitized we all become to it, right? And so the thing is to say, no, I will not participate in that, right? I am in an aligned place. I am centered in myself, and I am not going to participate in this toxic energy that gets stirred up on my feed, on my Facebook feed, or wherever it is, or with my family, or whoever it is, right? This ability to say no preserves. It elevates our value. It protects us. Yes. And the beautiful thing is that yes and no are both powerful. They seem like polarities, but they do the same things, right? If you are saying a wholehearted, aligned yes to something in your life, then there are some things that are going to fall away naturally, right? If you're saying a wholehearted no to something in your life, then it opens the door for some other things to come in. And the thing about yes and no is that the bottom line is really not about the yes or the no. It is about being aligned in your decision making, being awake. And are you saying yes and why? Are you saying no and why? Because a fearful no is not powerful. A fearful yes is not powerful. Yeah, so it's all about the alignment. Deepak Chopra has this really great quote from the book called the Book of Secrets, Unlocking the Hidden Dimensions of Your Life. He says, if you obsess over whether you are making the right decision, you are basically assuming that the universe will reward you for one thing and punish you for another. The universe has no fixed agenda. Once you make any decision, it works around that decision. There is no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, with each feeling, and with each action that you experience. Right? There is no right or wrong. Only things shift. Whatever road you choose, then the universe shifts around you. He says, and remember he's a medical doctor by training, he says, if this sounds too mystical, refer again to the body. Every significant vital sign, your body temperature, heart rate, oxygen consumption, hormone level, brain activity, and so on, every single one alters the moment you decide to do anything. Decisions are signals telling your body, mind, and environment to move in a certain direction, right? So just like if right now we decide to jump up and sprint to the back of the room, our body's going to adjust, right? Our breathing will adjust, our hormone level will adjust, our skeletal system will adjust, everything will adjust for that choice that we make, for that move that we make, right? So there is no right or wrong. If we all jump up and run to the back of the room, it's not good or bad to the universe or the body. The body's like, oh, okay, we're running, let's go, right? It's the same thing with the power of yes and no. So you can choose. I guess what I'm trying to help you do is to remove the worry about, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Do I say yes to this? Do I say no to that? If you just get to center, get yourself aligned with the divine, which is my favorite saying, right? Get yourself aligned with the divine. If you just do that, whatever choice you make, whether it's yes to something or no to something else, whichever choice you make, it'll be aligned. It will work out. The universe will work it all out. Because it knows every possible thing you could do anyway, right? God knows, and divine intelligence is so much more powerful than artificial intelligence because divine intelligence created all of us, right? It's not based on what all humans know. It's based on what the cosmos is. It's based on what we can't even imagine. Divine intelligence. It already knows. It knows what series of things can happen if you say yes. It knows what series of things will unfold if you say no. It knows what series of things will unfold if you say yes, no, or no, yes, no. It knows all the things, right? It is all the things. And so you can't make a wrong move, truly. The move is to get aligned, right? To go within, to get yourself anchored in spirit and then move from that place, make a choice from that place, say yes from that place, say no from that place, and then everything will work together one way or the other. And here's the thing, because we have free will, we can choose however we want. And sometimes, yes, we make decisions, we make choices, we say yes when no might have been a shorter way to get there, right? We say no when yes might have been a less, let's say, colorful way to get there, right? Right? But we still will get the learning. It will still unfold. We still will get the transformation. Our souls will still unfold and learn the lessons it needs to learn because that is the way it works. Right? So, the wisdom of no, the wisdom of yes is really, really these two polarities, as Rumi says, out beyond right doing and wrong doing, there is a field, meet me there. It's the same principle, right? When you get aligned in the field, then whichever one you choose, it's going to all work out, right? It's going to all unfold in some way. Some may be more colorful, may take longer, some may be shorter, but you're still going to get there, right? It will still unfold. And so this is where we are right now in this moment, in this world, in this place, in this space where it is time to move into a wisdom state. It is time to be in wisdom consciousness. It is time to let go of of all of the ways of the world that would divide, that would have us at each other's throats, that would have us at war with each other, to let go of that. And I'm asking each one in this room to be in a place and space of being anchored so much in the field beyond, so much in the presence of God, in the one that created all of us, that we can come to healing and come together, and we can collectively, because there's a collective yes and no that we have to make, right? That keeps coming up for us in this country, right? It keeps coming up for us in this country. It keeps coming up globally, right? There's a collective yes and no that has to happen. And the more people who are aligned, whichever way it goes, right? Whether we tip out into war and destruction, whether we move into love and peace faster, love is going to have the final word. Love is going to have the final word. God is going to have the final word. We can't war with God. We can't destroy God. We can wipe ourselves off the planet, but we can't destroy that which created all things. And so our choice on the planet as the collective is, so which way are we going to go? What are we going to say yes to? And what are we going to say no to? Because love will have the final word, right? Are y'all with me on this? Yeah. So my call to you this week, my invitation to practice this week is really look at your life, before you look at the world, and look at your life and think about what can you say an aligned, wholehearted yes to? What is beckoning you right now to say an aligned, wholehearted yes to it? And I know it's there because I can feel it in the room. I can feel it within each of you. There is something that is wanting you to say yes. Say yes. And I want you to also look at your life and look at what is it time to say an aligned, wholehearted no to, right? What is it that is coming up in your being right now that's telling you it's time to say an aligned, wholehearted no to it? So explore that this week. So, beloveds, let's turn within.